Good afternoon. Let's start off with our forecast for today. So, of course, of course, the cold temperatures have arrived, and they will stick around through the day today. As we head into the evening, into the overnight, it is going to get quite cold again, and it will remain cold overnight into tomorrow. Then it may warm up a bit, but it's still going to get cold tomorrow night. Not quite as cold, and then it may warm up as we head into Sunday. Now you'll notice we didn't start with the 500 millibar chart. That was partially accidental, and also because, well, might as well show you what we're dealing with now, and then move on from the future for that. In fact, you can see that this is a pretty intense high pressure system that is really causing all of this cold. The center of it will kind of shift over towards our area as we head into mainly tomorrow, and then eventually it moves off and ends up off to our east here. And there's actually several different little high pressure centers associated with this. And you even have like a little bit of a trough in here of some lower pressures, but it's still some high pressure. Now let's go up to that 500 millibar chart where we still have an area of low pressure aloft up to our northeast with a trough associated with that. Looks like there might be a little shortwave back in here, but that shortwave is going to take its time. And actually it looks like it may kind of dissipate by the time it would have reached our area. And then we see another trough really starting to build back to our west here, right at the end of the period. This is Sunday morning. And I think this is something we're going to have to keep an eye on for potential impacts to our area in the future. Now looking at the 850 just to see if there's anything we're missing. And no, it doesn't really look like it. You can start to see that next low pressure system start to build in. Excuse me. Maybe there's a little bit of a more localized low kind of down here, Arkansas, Missouri area, with a nice jet of wind on its southeastern flank there. So that could be something to watch for them, but not necessarily for us. Speaking of watching for them and not necessarily for us, let's go to precipitation. And I will zoom in on our area just at first, and you'll notice that there is, there has still been some lake effect along the coast for our area, or for the Michigan area. And as we head into this evening, that will start to shift southward and then eventually southwest to be mainly away from the shore. So by the overnight period tonight, our snow, our on and off snow, should be ending. You're also getting a little sneak peek at what's going on to our south. And it looks like this may start to expand northward a bit as we head into Sunday morning, overnight, tomorrow night, and into Sunday morning. So now let's zoom out. Go back out. This right here is a major winter storm. And you'll notice it's impacting areas that don't normally see winter weather. It is expected to start in the next couple of hours, mainly in Texas, spread into Oklahoma, and then go through Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. Get that out of my face, please. Thank you. And then eventually it will actually shift a bit to the northeast and have a pretty substantial impact on the New England states as well, like Connecticut, New York, Rhode Island, and so on. Now this is going to be significant. This would be a significant storm by our standards. Some portions of Oklahoma are looking at potentially a foot of snow. Reminder, Oklahoma, foot of snow. Those two things don't mix. Some portions of North Texas are looking at a few inches of snow on top of on top of a couple inches of sleet, on top of a quarter to 3/4 of an inch of ice. And that ice will continue to progress. So the blue here is the snow, the purple is mixed, the red is ice or freezing rain, and the green is normal rain. So there's some pretty major ice here in Louisiana as well, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. Really significant icing at this point. In fact, this right here, uh, that is rates of, I'm trying to look at different, like, that is at least a tenth of an inch of ice per hour in those areas, which is really, really not great. And, the ice will continue in those areas for quite some time too, it looks like. So this is a major, major storm. This right here is a map that is showing all active weather alerts in the United States. And one thing you'll notice is this huge swath of pink here. Those are all winter storm warnings. So this winter storm is going to have huge, far-reaching impacts. The dark blue that is including parts of Michigan is the extreme cold warning. This light blue that is taking over the rest of Michigan and some other areas is the cold weather advisory. This kind of purplish color along here from Louisiana, Mississippi into Tennessee, and also in northern Georgia, parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Again, those are ice storm warnings. So again, this would be a major event for us and is going to be affecting a lot of areas that don't normally get winter weather, period. So, this is likely to be a pretty historic storm, and I don't use that term lightly. This is looking like it is going to be a historic winter storm. So, and it's going to be starting very soon. So if you know anybody in these areas, if you're traveling to these areas, use extreme caution. Be prepared. If you have loved ones down there, friends or family, contact them. Let them know about, make sure they're aware and prepared. Now, if they're in Texas or Oklahoma, the time to prepare is pretty much past. They're in Tennessee, you might still have a little time to get them to act and do, prepare. Now, if they're up by New Jersey and New York, they're used to it. They probably don't need your help. But you might as well let them know that it's coming, just in case they don't know anyway. Now, the reason I've been mainly focusing on the storm down here is because that's really the major weather news aside from our extreme cold. We are not expecting too much more snowfall, at least in this period, though we might be looking at some snowfall later, or perhaps even on the northern fringe of this system as it moves closer on Sunday. Let's take another look at our probabilistic snowfall ranges, and keep in mind that this runs from 7 a.m. this morning to 7 a.m. Monday. That is a big time frame. Lansing area is half an inch to 4 inches on the expected. And again, this is going to be with associated snow Sunday into Monday. All of the snow that this is calling for, or the vast majority of it, for us at least, is not going to be in the next couple of days. It is going to be Sunday into Monday. So our low end amount is hardly anything at all, a trace if even that. So there's a 9 in 10 chance that we get at least a tiny little trace. Not that we would notice that, given how much snow is out the window right now. But the high end amount is all the way up to 6 inches for us. And that really depends on how far this shifts north, if any, and how far north that this will continue to extend. Because if you'll notice, it really extends northward in the last few hours heading into Sunday morning. So how far north this extends, and if it shifts a little north any, is going to make the difference between, half an inch and 6 inches. So of course it's something we will keep an eye on. But for now, let's actually take a look at what this is forecasting for our highs and lows. It's showing us being briefly above zero for our temperatures for the next couple of hours before we are harshly thrown back down. Now, This is running a little warmer than our official forecast. So this is showing us between -5 and -10. Our official forecast for tonight's low is -13. So this is running a little bit warm. But then again, that is because it is a combination of a bunch of different models. So some of the lower end extremes are balancing out with some of the higher end extremes, you know. But yeah, it's going to be cold, very cold, especially tonight into tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow it will warm up. It looks like we can expect our highs to be in the 5 to 10 degree range. Then tomorrow night, maybe we dip back, dip back close, 4 to 5 degrees. Still very cold, but not as cold. And then things will likely warm up just a little bit more as we head into Sunday. I believe our highs on Sunday are supposed to be at least in the double digits. Granted, a double digit that starts with the number 1, but double digits nonetheless. Now, for cloud cover, we may see some patches of blue and sunny skies over the next few hours between those little lake effect bands that are still ongoing. As those cease, we will even see a lot of clearing as we head into the evening tonight. Of course, the sun will be down by this point, but you should almost certainly be able to see the moon around 7, 8, 9 p.m. tonight, and even actually for most of the night tonight. As we head into tomorrow morning, though, clouds move over associated with that large winter storm, potentially historic winter storm for much of the country. Its clouds will start to overspread our region, and that will continue through the rest of the forecast period, through tomorrow night, and into Sunday morning. Finally, we'll take a quick look at wind. It looks like right now is actually the windiest period. We've got sustained wind around 10 to 15 miles per hour, and through the evening it will slowly calm down through the afternoon and evening, and by 8 or 9 p.m. winds will be relatively calm, and they will remain calm through the overnight, through tomorrow night, and into Sunday morning. Yippee! Of course, that doesn't mean that the wind chill is going to be negligible. Even a 3-mile-an-hour wind, 3 to 5-mile-an-hour wind can make, -5 feel like -12. But at least it's not making our -5, at least it's not going to make -5 feel like -30. However, it certainly could, heading in tonight, with actual temperatures around -13, some models hint that there could be pockets of around -20 here or there. Again, even a 5-mile-an-hour little gust is going to make -20 feel like -30, -35. So, yeah. But at least we're not dealing with, like 30-mile-an-hour winds that would make -20 feel like -50 something, That would suck. This sucks, but that would suck more. And with that, again, that's pretty much all I have for the day today. Again, this is a major winter storm, and you're probably gonna hear quite a lot about it in the news after it is all said and done. This would be a major storm by our standards. So when you see the South suffering, don't laugh at them. This would cripple us. And of course, keep in mind their infrastructure, especially down in Texas, is not equipped to handle winter weather as well as ours is. And so do keep that in mind. And this is, by all stretches of, by all means, more than likely is going to be a deadly storm. Not necessarily for us, thank goodness, but just with how large it is, with some of the totals that are expected, this is going to be a very, very bad day for someone. So, or a bad few days, I should say, more realistically. So, keep that in mind if you're heading down there, if you are down there, if you know someone down there, stay safe, keep them safe, and have a great day. See you tomorrow. Again, popping in with a little asterisk, this technically could impact us on Sunday with, half an inch to potentially up to 6 inches, but mainly half an inch to 4 inches of snow. But like that's nothing compared to the rest of the storm, which is why putting a little asterisk there. We will technically be impacted by this, but you know, maybe even notably. But yeah. Anyway, bye.